Welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast, where you'll learn all the best tips, tricks, and practical techniques for building the confidence levels you've always wanted. With inspiring interviews, real-life examples, and game-changing insights, this podcast is for women who know that mastering the skill of confidence is one of the most important things they'll ever do.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Secrets of Confident Women. And I'm so thrilled to be talking to a good friend of mine today, Katrina Bates, and we are going to get so much juicy, awesome information out of this lady. Look, she has been in the direct sales space for over 10 years, and in that space has built a $1 million business. And then 2 years ago, she saw that the world was changing and moved into Roden & Field's skincare business. She sold her other company and pretty much did this whole thing built this business from the ground up. And if you're not familiar with Roden & Fields, it's been a skincare business that's been in Australia for 2 years, and it's in the first 12 months it was a $50 million business. So it's the fastest growing, and Australia is the fastest growing business region for Roden & Fields. But Katrina, look, she sold her other business, took on this business, and now she's gone from pretty much zero to one of the top 5 leaders in Australia. And just a couple of weeks ago was awarded the 4th Mercedes car driver in Australia. So she was given a Mercedes car. So this woman knows how to do direct sales, let me tell you. So look, Katrina and I met when I was first asked to speak many, many years ago to a group of Intimo girls that Katrina was one of the team leaders for. And then I ended up joining this group and becoming an Intimo consultant myself. And yes, I wanted some extra pocket money to put towards when I was building Rise Women, but also because I knew how important it was to surround myself with motivated, positive, successful women. And Katrina and the group that she built was absolutely that. So just being around these women, and especially Katrina, helped me achieve in every part of my life, because her energy, it was completely contagious, and it really helped me to skyrocket and take even Rise Women business to the next level. So I really wanted to interview Katrina for this podcast, because I know there are so many women that move into direct sales businesses, whether it be in skincare or Tupperware or Intimo or health products or any of the other various companies out there that use a direct sales model or even e-commerce models. And they find that calling or talking to people about their business, whether it be in person or even on social media, becomes a real stumbling block, and it highlights the challenges that they have with confidence. And over the years, I've spoken to so many of these women in these businesses, and confidence really is one of their biggest challenges, because generally the companies that they work for give them so much training and information on the products and all the marketing materials and all the other stuff they need to build a successful business. But the confidence and, taking it to the next step is really what's in the way. So I'm thrilled to be able to interview Katrina today and gets her this skill and, really learn how she manages her confidence, being this powerhouse that she is in the direct sales space. So Katrina, I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Jodie. That was an amazing intro. Wow, I feel so privileged to be here and hopefully add a little bit of value.
You will.
The people around you.
You always add value. That's why you always add value. Just being around you is like, you feel like you get an adrenaline shot.
That's so
that's
nice.
My experience.
It is that thing of attitudes are contagious.
Yeah, it is.
I always heard that saying, is yours worth catching? I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. So I really do think that we feel off each other as humans. So, but thank you. So that was just a really beautiful intro, and I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's going to have a lot. Yeah, I just knew it was something. This is such an area, and we've, even what we've done before together and working with groups of women, it's such a thing that's out there. There's so many women trying to, as we say, take control of their own finances and have this extra business that especially works with families and bringing up their children, all this flexibility, but the confidence is always really a stumbling block for them. So I'm sure that they're going to get loads of great ideas today. But, why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself, your family, background and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I feel like too, just as you were talking, as women, we can generally be that linchpin in, our family. We hold everything together, and we sort of wear many hats.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I have loved the direct sales space. I accidentally fell into it when I was in my very early 20s. I had a 6-month-old baby, and I accidentally fell into this direct sales space where I thought I could,
as we do,
I could earn. Very, very accidental. But I thought I could earn a little bit of extra income on the side, and that could support me around all the other roles that I had as a worked full time, and I had a little baby and a mortgage and all those types of things. And so, but what I sort of learned over that time is that it's really good to be around women, positive women, and they always say you are the average of your 5 closest people. So I'm been very aware over my time of who I hang out with, and that sort of thing, which I know you probably train on this a lot, but it's very important. And so having that little bit of self-awareness of who's around you. Anyway, so I have 3 children now, and 3 kids, and I think I just always knew that the world is changing. People are sort of happy to buy and shop online, and women want flexibility, and men too, but I'm particularly more with women because you do seem to have more responsibility sometimes with wearing different hats and running a family, and we want more, which is a great thing, and so sometimes I think that's why I did fall in love with that direct sales business. And then when my youngest daughter was about to start primary school 2 years ago, I recognised that an incredible skincare brand was launching here in Australia, and it was the number 1 selling skincare over in the US and Canada. It outsold everything in a bottle. It was an ex-Estee Lauder brand, and I thought, you know what, I want to move with the times. I still love the idea of direct sales, but I sort of wanted to, be a little bit more online and not so much in that party plan. Not so much nights and not so many weekends. Because Annika was starting school, so my life was changing, and I thought, look, I want to adapt around that. And most certainly I didn't need to change. I didn't necessarily need to, but I think it's important to go with your gut and really, back yourself. And so I 2 years ago decided to sell my very successful Intimo business, and I started working with it a bit more online, but very, very similar. It's a referral-based business. So what you guys are thinking and wanting to know today is, it's a referral-based business. So, it's done so well, and it's, having my why behind me was probably a big deal. So for sure. I don't know if the people that are listening, you really want to know why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to get out of it. What value is that going to add to your life? And that was stronger than anything else,
any other obstacles that were coming in your way. And I think that's such an important point, that especially for women, as time kids get older, I know my life changes every time we get into the new school levels and different things, and kids become a bit more self-sufficient and they can actually go and shower themselves. That was a fantastic turning point in my life, when they could just go and have a shower and not actually, have to physically be there with them so they didn't drown in the bath. But, there's all these changes, and it's fantastic that you saw that opportunity to go, look, life is, the world is changing, but now I want other things in my life too, and to really, back yourself to create and make that happen for your happiness and your family's sake.
Having that time back. But I think that it's about being adaptable, and it doesn't matter really what business you're in or where you work. You want to adapt,
yes,
pivot quick.
yeah,
You know,
yes,
if you see something as adapt, because it's too easy to become complacent.
yeah.
And so you want to stay relevant.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
look, really, that's how this podcast got started, because COVID hit. We were about to do some other video stuff, and then Anastasia and I couldn't actually meet for months at a time.
100%.
We couldn't meet.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, but we could do a podcast. Well, yeah, it's like that sort of thing. You just have to keep rolling with
Adapting.
it. Otherwise, you know, you could just give up, which many people do. So, and what does confidence or being because this is the confidence podcast, but you know, what does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
I think confidence is something that the human brain. I'm no exception to the rule. As to be honest, sometimes I sort of, if I ever am lacking in my confidence, I know that it's probably because I'm not in any action.
Right.
I'm not in
yes.
action. When I get myself into action,
yes,
the overwhelm disappears.
yeah, moving
The
forward
confidence.
step by step. Yeah,
So it's being in action, and just, it doesn't matter if it's just a little tiny bit of action. It's just taking one little step, and it's being that consistency that I believe is really, even if I don't feel confident, I just do it anyway.
yeah,
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be, it could be just something really small that, it's like I always think of myself, don't ride the roller coaster, don't go up and then down and then up and then down. If I can, I'd rather just be doing little chunks at a time.
yeah,
And that really does, when I'm in action, it really does remove any overwhelm for me. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I know that that's probably because I haven't done any little steps in the last couple of days or, yeah.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because it is like, it's we talk about action all the time, but it is that when you say, oh, I'm just going to do those, those 2 phone calls, or I'm going to send those 3 emails or whatever, and it's achievable and doable, but you're doing it, then you get proud of yourself. You get like, you go, oh, okay, well done. I did what I said I was going to do. And that builds on, that's the confidence that builds on top of confidence. If you're always behind, or you write, 45 things on your to-do list, and you've got young children and it's really unachievable, you're always disappointed with yourself, and it just wears away at your confidence. And so it is really setting those small goals and small steps and getting them done and moving into action, as you say.
It's nearly not even liberate yourself and not worry about the outcome is what I did many years ago. I thought, I'm just going to pat myself on the back and say, well done, you did those action steps. You did that little bit. I'm not too concerned about whether there's a yes or a no, or a new team member, or a new person on skincare or not. That's irrelevant to me. I know that it's more about, how can I help you get what you want? And then how can I be my best version of myself and nearly live into that? But it's liberate yourself from the outcome, because sometimes if you're worrying about what the outcome will be, what happens is we get a little bit of judgment that comes in, and then we kind of, it's like you get in your own way. You need to not only move yourself out of your own way.
Yes, exactly. We just get so caught up in it, don't we? And we're our own worst. Yeah, we're our own worst enemy at those points. It's like, it's not even happening, but it's like, yeah. And when are you the most confident version of yourself then? When do you feel like it's just all happening and flying?
When am I the most confident version? It's probably when I'm, like I said, I think when I'm in action. So I've forever got a list, and I'm every day.
Join the club. Me too.
I know.
I love lists.
And I love lists, and I feel like, for me, I'm in a people business, so I love people. Sometimes I don't. I'm introverted as well. I love to get on the doona and get on the lounge and have my doona and have my cup of tea. I do love my own time, and I need that to regenerate. But I think I like people, and I love chatting to people. And at the moment, as you know, I'm working with skincare. So for me, it's about every day, if I can just put 2 or 3 people on my list, I know that I will forever have people to talk to, and I will never be circling back to those same 10 people, because that probably would I'd probably lose my confidence maybe if I was going back to the same people. So, you know, if I'm at the gym this morning and I just so happen to, you know, someone has been in conversations with me for a long time, I might have a sample in my bag, but I can go, oh my goodness, I've thought of you. Would you like to try this?
Yeah, yeah.
And just nothing from it, just
putting
knowing,
it out there,
I mean,
getting
where appropriate, and you get that you've built relationships with people. So I think I forever am. And when you're doing that, and when you've got, you know, when you're building upon your list and you're adding 2 or 3 people, and you'll never run out of people to talk to, it makes you you're not doing headlaps thinking about, you don't have time to circle back to that maybe someone who's not ready right now. You can continue on with your life, and then in a month or 2 come back to them, and it's all about timing. Yeah. Everything is timing. So I think it's about, you know, just constantly adding to your list and not really just going back to those same people.
Yeah. And taking the pressure off yourself for it to look a certain way, like it to have those outcomes, as you say. Yeah. So you look, many women in direct sales get really stuck or even scared of making the calls, or, you know, talking to, you know, even if at the gym, talking to those other people or building, like, how do you continually, and, you know, you are a people person and you're so personable. Like, you are that. You've always been, well, every time since I've known you, you've always been that person that feels like they can just approach anyone, anywhere, and really start a connection. Because, you know, from what I observe with you're a very open person. You've got a really caring and fun energy, but you really approach people you look them in the eye and give them respect, and just, I think people really sort of like you appeal to people from the get-go. So how do you keep doing that and keep picking up the phone also, or making those connections?
There's a couple of really good points I think that work. Is I try to build relationships and also be interested in other people. Yeah. So I feel like, how do I continually keep picking up the phone? I think I just continue to keep myself in a conversation or relevant. So whether I might have 1 hour a day that I focus on that, where I might have 1 hour a day where I'm just checking in, and social media is just the most incredible platform to be able to do that, to be able to comment on someone's children or life or favorite movie or restaurant that they may have gone to. And so I feel like if I'm keeping relevant with my relationships with people, I don't get that feeling where I'm picking up the phone and I'm coming in left field. I avoid that. I don't pick up the phone and cold call so much. I'd rather find people to talk to and then talk to those people that I find. And what happens is naturally, when you're interested in other people, they then become interested in you. Yes. And then you can help them get what they want with whatever service it is that you have. We all have something that we offer in our lives, whether it's tutoring children, or you're a hairdresser, or you're we all nearly have a service, or we can add value to people. So when you're interested in other people, they become interested in you. Yeah. And so where appropriate, and it's the consistency. It's not going in and doing that 1 hour once a week. It's doing that 1 hour, 5 days a week. Yeah.
And it creates like a two-way street, doesn't it? It becomes not just a listen to me. It becomes a conversation and as you say, build that rapport and relationship. Yeah.
And I do believe, for myself anyway, I buy off who I know, like, and trust, or I do not even buy, but I like to work with people. If I need someone to look after my son, to do a bit of tutoring, I like to find someone that I know, like, and trust to support me in that thing. So when I'm in conversations constantly and I'm being consistent, it might not be right now that someone needs skincare, but they might need it in 6 weeks' time when they're running low. So they'll find that they've got a platform or a relationship with me just to come back and when they're ready. So it's keeping the door open, never judging, and just keeping that door open for people to say, I'm here when you need me. How can I help you get what you want? Yeah. And then you'll never really have that. I always, have that little bit of like, but you kind of need to just push yourself through that little bit of that out of your comfort zone and create a new comfort zone, you know?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. This is what we're always talking about, just pushing the boundaries of that comfort zone. And then it becomes easier, absolutely easier. And how do you keep your motivation and confidence high when you hear a no or there's a rejection or when approaching clients, which probably doesn't happen as much now in the skincare business, but obviously in the Intimo consultancy thing, we always were asking for that next appointment and things. How did you approach that? Because I used to go on appointments with you and you were just a master. Like you were just didn't, it was never a place of, you just never hesitated, I found. It was like, wow, she just asked the question, like, great, So, but how did you keep that motivation and confidence high?
A couple of things. I always, in that space, back then, I think I had to feel like I had to go through the no's to find the yeses. If I wasn't hearing any no's, then I most certainly wasn't going to hear any yeses because I wasn't in action. Yes. I wasn't patting myself on the back for like, well done, Kat, like at least you asked.
Yes.
That person, if they'd be open to, sharing the products with other people and 8 out of 10 would say no.
Yes.
That's not for me. And then 2 people would say yes. But I think I just was congratulated myself internally for doing the action steps, actions to not worry and try to remove all that judgment. And I feel like when you remove that, liberate yourself and remove the judgment of what you think other people want to do, they actually respect you a little bit more in turn, because it's nearly a compliment to be asked, I'd love to partner with you, I'd love to work with you.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd be open to? And I think that's nearly, it's letting that person, and a no is always, when you do this consistently over time, it actually, you look back and you go, wow, that no is not a no. It's
a definitive no
right now.
Yes.
It's just a no, not now. But then,
that's right.
then it does come back around. But in saying that too, I do find, and especially now, is that if you've got a platform that you can invite people to, you don't really get no's. I don't feel like these days I get no's so much. It might be like, hey, I'd love to invite you to learn a little bit more about what you said was a concern of yours. So, oh, wow, I heard what you said to me and I'd love to invite you to learn more about X.
Yeah.
Would you like me to invite you into, and maybe you're doing a virtual event around educating people of what you offer. And so it's always inviting people to a platform to learn more and then allowing them to make that decision.
Yeah.
So it's not as much, Jodie, as what you and I used to do, which was very much one-on-one. Would you like to have a booking?
Yes.
And it was like more of a yes or no. There kind of wasn't a grey area.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like these days, in a lot of corporations and people, if you can create that form of a grey area, that's where that magic really happens. So if you can forever have a tool, as in a video that you can send someone to learn more about what you can offer them, or if you have a platform to invite them to, it's really good for you, because it will increase your confidence, because you can say, look, I'd love to invite you in to learn a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Are you happy for me to send you an invitation? And you're taking the pressure off.
Yes,
you're
for
taking
sure.
that pressure off.
And I love what you said about actually celebrating and just being proud of yourself for just asking. So again, it's like taking away the being attached to the outcome, whether it's a yes or a no, but actually congratulating yourself and being proud of yourself to go, you know what, I asked. And because it's that's, and we were talking about this before we started the podcast, just the celebration and we teach our brains to continue with things that we get rewarded for, right? Just like with children, we reward the good behavior and we say, oh, well done, you got in the bath and here's, and we but we forget to do that for ourselves. So it's finding those moments, even as so small, even if it's, well done, I, sent those 3 emails I said I was going to do, or I made that one phone call, or I asked the question, I asked if you wanted, to go further or share this product with your friends or whatever you did. But it's like forgetting the outcome, just building on, rewarding yourself and being proud of yourself that you took the action that you said you were going to do. And that's so, so important in building our confidence.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it's like that little dopamine hit. You want to do it again.
Absolutely. We get it. That's exactly what adrenaline junkies are they're jumping off bigger and bigger cliffs because they want the feeling, right? Our brains want that feeling. It wants to do that again and again. But if we're always like beating ourselves up or being too critical or, as you say, judgmental, we just take that away from ourselves, and it's so much harder to get up and running. And, you inspire and train a lot of women in direct sales. So what is their biggest challenge that you find, and what advice do you give them?
Oh, I think the biggest challenge.
You used to give me a lot of advice, by the way.
Did I? I love it.
It was great. I had a lot of challenges.
We had the best.
We had
time.
so much fun. I know. It was so good.
I did an event last night, and it was fantastic. It was very last minute. We just had a platform for people to come and check out bits and pieces, and we had quite a lot of people turn up, and it was just so nice to be with people. But your question is really, what is people's biggest challenge? Is, I think, to be completely honest with you, it's that fear of failure. Yes. It's that fear of failure, and I think it's normal. We are human, so if you're fearful of something that you're about to do or want to do that you have never done before, then I guess all I can say is thank God.
Yes.
Because you're a human being.
Exactly.
That's normal.
Yes. We talk about this all the time. We're always teaching women that the fear is good. The fear means it's on, you're pushing your boundaries of your comfort zone, and that's where fear lives. So it's good. It's, it's a great feeling.
You care. Yeah. It means you care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think you need to recognize, it's nearly like it's like that whole glass ceiling thing, The Big Leap, a book I read once. But it's like busting through that glass ceiling, and it is fearful. And when you get onto that other side, you go, oh yeah, it's easier here.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool here. It's not so hard. And I think to come back to probably everything, Jodie, you and I have said nearly this whole podcast, is it's really about just doing those action steps and being proud of yourself for doing the things that you need to do regardless of the outcome. Yeah. Because then your fear of failure nearly disappears a little bit, because you're just proud of yourself for doing what is within your control. Yeah. If you can just do what's within your control and be proud and pat yourself on the back and go, what can I do? What can I control and what can't I control? And just try and don't worry about what you can't control, and do the things that you can control, which is usually those action steps. That's, it's asking people, it's talking to people, it's giving them a sample, it's sharing with them what you're doing and letting them decide. That fear of failure might go away a little bit if you can celebrate you. Yes. Doesn't matter what happens, you celebrate you, that this week I did what I said I was going to do.
That's right.
Whatever happens.
What's getting you the win? You get the win from that because you did it.
Yeah. And the universe will back you, It always does.
Absolutely. Just got to trust in the process sometimes and not overthink it all so much. Sometimes we get all caught in the overthinking, which is, again, another interesting, fun trait that women seem to have.
It is, and that's where go zones sometimes work a little bit too. If you can put that allocated time aside for you, even just a very minimal amount of time, but if it's a consistent thing, and it does take 21 days to form a habit. So it is not just doing it for 2 or 3 days and going, that didn't work. It's really trying to commit to yourself, like anything, like when you go to the gym or you want to lose weight, you of see the results. If you were to compare on a day-to-day basis, you probably wouldn't see a difference. No. But if you were to compare over a period of 4 to 6 months and you were consistently doing that small amount of time every day, what an enormous, incredible place you will have come.
Absolutely. And the next question I think we've sort of asked, I was going to ask you, like, what is the key to success for women in these industries, in the sort of the direct sales business? But I think, as we've said about action and moving into action and being proud of yourself and getting those small wins, is there anything else that is those that you see with women in your teams, do the successful ones have something different or think a different way or approach it in a different way?
I think that they just they're consistent and they don't ride the waves so much, so the ups and the downs. They try and just be that little bit more consistent every day, that little bit. And they're they're non-judgmental. They don't judge people. They just do those steps, and they just offer, I'd love for you to come along with me. Are you free?
Yeah.
Would you like to take a look? I'd love to give you a little sample. And they allow that person to make the decision nearly without it having to be a definitive yes or no.
Yes.
And so I think the key would be to really try, and human nature is to judge. We judge everything. We can't help it.
Do.
It's normal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with it either. But it's also just trying to just get out of your own way.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Oh, goodness.
And
sometimes
so
that's just
because
that's the problem, isn't it? And I know even, even when I started in the Intimo business and whatever, I think I was just completely, which I'm sure everyone is, at those initial bits, it was me in the way of I was a learning curve. It was all the thing, but it was all me in the way of it being what it was, So, and it's, as I've often said, anything running a business, whether it be these sort of businesses or any sort of business that you take on, I always say it's the steepest personal development program that you'll ever go on, because
it is a personal development program with a paycheck attached, to be honest with you, because you earn and you learn at the same time.
You do.
You never learn, and that's probably with every industry, but you don't learn everything and then go and earn the income.
No.
You earn and learn. You're learning as you're earning. So it is a personal development program with a paycheck attached. And honestly, network marketing or direct sales, it really can be something that you can't get in any other. It's really an incredible industry, and it's an industry that's booming because you don't need to have a particular educational background or an age limit or a cultural. Like, it's open for anyone to come in and really make what they want, and what it can do for your family is just it's out of this world. So
absolutely. But you've got to be prepared. And I wonder whether some people don't see it as that to begin with. They don't realise that they are going to have to learn and change and question themselves and change their mindset. And there's a lot of work, let alone learn the products or learn what you've got to sort of do as part of a business. But being able to sell yourself and being able to, we talk to a lot of women about even just being able to go to a networking meeting or, even in corporates or anything. These are different things that they haven't done before, and they've really got to step into facing the fear and pushing through that, which, doesn't necessarily it's not the first thing you sort of think of when you think of, I'm going to take on my own business. You think about the flexibility and all those sort of things. You sometimes forget the personal development element that you've got to commit to make these businesses what you want them to be. But it's So when tell us a time where you had low confidence. I don't know whether I've ever seen you with any level of low confidence, but nevertheless, if you've ever had any, what do you do when I think you've sort of touched on
we
it.
all have our days.
We have our days. You get yourself back into action. Is there anything that that you do to build yourself back up again?
I definitely don't wake up every day thinking I'm going to take over the world.
I'm smashing it. Yeah, same.
No,
same.
I don't. I have my 1 or 2 days a week where I go, oh my goodness, let's go.
Yeah.
But that's where I think it does. It does come back to just again, and even just what you touched on a moment ago, Jodie, is just take the pressure off yourself.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off. Just take the pressure off and just go and do those little actions, and really. Something like with what I do, start slow, come in softly, and just learn and earn at the same time. And just as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, I just think, and the people that you're around, it's so important.
Yeah.
So for me, I love cooking. I love putting on a really good song. A really good song will always get me in a good mood. Or just going for a walk, even if it's around the block. It's not to try and exercise even, it's just to go for a walk and leave my phone at home and just walk around the block. It takes me 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, not far.
Just get a bit of headspace and a bit of thinking time.
Yeah, clarity, and just coming back in and thinking, all right, what can I just get myself into action a little bit? Because we don't all live up real high. We sort of just need to know what it is that gets you in a good headspace, and I think eating well, going to bed at a decent time.
Yeah.
All those sort of, everything that you all, we all know.
All the things we know, yeah.
All the things we know, but just take the pressure off yourself. Be proud of who you are and what you're doing, and know that you do have good stuff to give other people, and you can be of service to others.
Yeah.
And it is interesting because everyone's always thinking about themselves. So if someone says no to you or something, they're not really looking at you. They're too worried about themselves.
That's right. That's right. As we all are, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was saying the exact thing to a lady yesterday at one of the presentations. She's like, I'm worried about what everyone will think if I post this on social media. I said, you won't even know. Why are you worried about that? You're not going to know what they're thinking. So what, she was so stopped in what she wanted, promoting herself on business, worrying about what people were going to think of her. She'll never ever have the answer to that question. She'd never know.
Well, if you don't, it'll be a no. Yeah, if you don't, it'll be a no anyway.
But they're like, what, or even just what will people think that I'm, that I'm doing, I'm making this Facebook Live. It's like, who cares?
People love it.
Yeah,
they won't
cares?
care at all.
Exactly. They're too busy worrying about their own Facebook Live that they're doing or not.
Because probably for her, it's just that it's out of her comfort zone.
Exactly.
So more than anything else, it's just, I when I did my first live, I thought I was going to honestly throw up. My girlfriend's like, you're doing it, Katrina. And I'm like, oh my God, I put myself into an absolute spin. And it was the funniest thing. It was all me, but I did it. And then now I could do them just for the fun of it, because people are, social media is a thing that's very acceptable, and you can do whatever you want on there, and no one judges you. They really truly don't. And just as you're always coming from that space where you're educating people or you're trying to teach them or show them something that's of value to them, I think that's where you'll start getting a larger following through doing that, and being consistent, not just that one time and judging on that. No. People watch. Yeah. They watch for a long time, and again, it's just coming back to those action steps that you're doing consistently over time. And when you look back in 4 to 6 to 12 months, you'll be just so surprised and so proud. And
all these things come inside your comfort zone that you go like, oh yeah, I could do Facebook Live and I could do this. But you didn't see the gradual progression of that. And I think, one thing that you're masterful at, especially working in these businesses, that is my experience, is the groups of women that you pull together and the energy and the positivity you create with those women is such a skill set of yours but that's how these, that's you help their confidence and you help that, but and yourself. It's who you surround yourself with. And as you said right at the beginning, it's so important about who we're catching, who we're getting contagious energy from. But you've always been very intentional about creating these groups and, pulling us all together and having them as fun and positive, and, everyone's sort of helping each other, and there's awards and, celebrating. You've always had that. Do you see that that's such an important part to, direct sales business or any business, or even just getting your girlfriends together? Is that something that you feel like that's such an important aspect of keeping your confidence levels high and your positivity and motivation?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. You have to surround yourself with good people and celebrate every milestone, like celebrate things along the way, because at the end of the day, otherwise you'll be forever chasing something,
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have these milestones. Oh, awesome. And look, now we're going to finish off with our 5 final power questions. These are our funny, no, they're not funny actually, but they're our 5 questions that we ask everybody. Actually, I think there's 6. Oh my God, there's 6. I think I started with 5, and then Anastasia wanted to put in the question heels or flats, because that's just how we operate. So our final power questions, our Rise Women power questions, is what do you wish every woman knew?
Oh, I wish every woman knew that they were powerful, confident, and they 100% had control over their future. Yes. I really wish that they really knew that.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? And just because it's all in there. It's all in. And sometimes we go through life events or challenges and whatever, that sometimes we lose sight of that. But it's every woman has that.
And you have value. You have value to add to someone else's life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how little or big, the smallest things add value to other people. So I wish everyone knew that they had value.
I know.
To add.
Oh, wouldn't the world be a different place? Be awesome. Well, that's the quest we're on, Katrina. That's the quest we're on. What is your superpower?
My superpower.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I never like talking about myself like that. But I don't know. Power is definitely not cleaning my house or cleaning up after dinner. I think I'm not sure. I think my superpower might be connecting people, bringing people together. Maybe that's my superpower.
And I think your energy of the fun and the energy that you exude, I think that's just, if you were a superhero, that would be, you'd just be like some sort of energy force of like everyone being positive around you, because just, it's always, you're always uplifted but you're just exuding an energy that everyone wants to go, I want to hang around her. Like you just want, that's how we met. It's like, I want to hang around her some more. Like, cause I know that energy influences.
I just walk around and and ask her. I'm that person. If you ever do those profiling, it's just, would you like a coffee or a tea? And I'm always getting everyone a tea or a coffee or a glass of wine, and just making sure that everyone feels like they have some form of liquid in front of them.
Absolutely.
Water.
Yeah.
So coming from, again, probably that space of service and making sure no one feels left out. I think that's an important thing in life. Yep.
So and that does create that relationship, because people feel valued, as you say, like in just being in part of that group. Heels or flats?
Oh my God, Jodie, I'm 5'2".
I know.
I've never worn flats in my life.
I know. Neither have we. I know. It's just our little funny question, because we're all about the shoes. Your favorite quote or rule that you live by?
Favorite quote? Oh my goodness, I have so many, and I didn't read these questions before we started. But
what's the one that you go to?
My go-to is probably, oh God, so many. Let's pass and come back to that one.
Okay,
think
all
about
right.
it.
Who inspires you and why?
Who inspires me? Oh my goodness, so many people inspire me. Like I try and look for inspiration where I can. I think people who back themselves.
Yeah.
Who just give it a red hot go.
Give it a red hot
and
go.
And they think, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it anyway. And what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Nothing. So I think over my life, my dad has inspired me a lot, and I've got some beautiful, my girlfriend that I work with, Madison and Catherine Hodge inspires me.
Yeah.
Powerhouse. I do have people around me that inspire me, and I do know the one thing that they all have in common, irrespective of their age or their gender, is that they back themselves.
Yes.
And that is something that I love to, and I see it. On a daily with people making my coffee or, people just give it a go. Give it a go. Really, that inspires me.
Yeah. No, me too. It is, because they're pushing through the fear and the obstacles and the questions and the doubt, and you do, like, they're stepping in and doing it anyway, because we us business owners, and we know that that's what has to happen to get to where you want to go. You just have to jump in and give it a red hot go, as you say. And finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, which would be, oh my God, might be scary, what would you do? I always think too, I like to envision myself, or anyone could, and I saw this quote the other day recently, and I thought it was awesome. It was, I could be answering that other question for you too, okay,
I guess.
Good.
And this is, it's really like, envision yourself as your highest self and try and be her.
Yeah.
Or live into that, envision yourself as your highest form, that you think, like, everyone's different. We've all got our positiveness about us, and everyone's different, which is what makes the world interesting and fantastic. And so, like, do what you know how to do, and live into that. And sort of like, sometimes we do doubt ourselves and things, but just see that higher form of yourself and live into that. If I had more confidence than I do now, I don't know what I would do. I feel like I'm doing feel like I'm doing all the things
You do. You step in, which is why I wanted to interview you today, because you are such an expert. I find you such an inspirational woman. When we worked together in the Intimo consulting, like you were just the shining light that was like, I just want to be more like her. Like, and not from looking at the skills that you have and just the energy, as I said, that you offer to the world, and just the happiness. You just bring happiness to.
Yeah, they're grateful.
Yeah,
grateful.
Absolutely. It was always fun. It was always good to be around you. You just only had to spend like half an hour with you having a coffee and your day was changed. It was that sort of. Or a phone call. You always used to ring me. It was like, I just have, a 15-minute. Then you'd be like, oh, gotta go, see you. Bye. I was like, that's all I needed anyway. But it's like, I think, you are as I said in the beginning, the epitome of a powerhouse in business, but also the epitome of just a positive, motivated woman that is giving it a red hot go. And I really, really thank you for coming on the podcast today and sharing your insights into how you see the world and how you build these successful businesses. And, it's a really just a credit to you and a congratulations for creating the amazing business you have for yourself and your family and, and also your team members. Like, you've just done such an incredible job. So thank you for sharing your ideas with us today.
Thank you for having me. And I just wanted to also say, how proud I am of you to be doing something that is adding value to so many people listening today. And it does take your energy and your time to be able to really give back to people. And this is such an important topic. And I've loved watching you, Jodie. Going forward, you're consistent and you've just kept going. And I know that there's been those struggles, but it's really about giving back to other people, and you are doing that. So thank you for having me, and for everyone listening. Send a big thank you to Jodie and Anastasia.
Thank you. We love what we do, and that's why the obstacles that do come, the obstacles come. We keep fighting to get over them, so that we can keep running this business and keep doing what we do, because we do love it, and we get to be surrounded by people like you. So, but thank you for saying that. And if you've loved today's episode and you want to know more, please head over to risewomen.com. There's plenty of resources on there to help you become the confident woman you've always wanted to be. And please consider subscribing to this podcast. Share it with your girlfriends. There's lots of, as you've heard today, lots of great inspiration and great tips and techniques that help us all be better people. But until next time, as I always say, remember that with confidence, anything is possible. Bye for now.